Hello guys, Raj here. Today I am back with a review and another one on from the House of Creed. This time on Spice and Wood, which is part of the Royal Exclusive collection. I don't have a full bottle. I've got a decant, but the full bottles, 250 ml flacon, as they're known, is probably one of the finest bottles I've ever seen, except for the cap. Again, Creed and their caps, you know how I feel about that. But wow, yeah, that's a really fantastic bottle. And this fragrance is not cheap. It really is not cheap. A 250 ml is going to cost you £475. In dollars, that is 745. The best price I've seen, and I mentioned this on my vetiver geranium video, is from the website nose.fr. Now there are other French-based websites out there, but I quite like this website, and that will cost you 440 euros for this eau de parfum. So you know, on a price per ml basis, at that price anyway, it's not sort of, there are more expensive things out there, but I still feel that this is overpriced. Now, what you do get in this fragrance is something really good, but it has its limitations, and I'll go into that in a little bit. So the notes for this, top notes of apple, bergamot, and lemon. In the middle of this fragrance, in the heart, there are cloves, angelica root, pink berries, vetiver, patchouli, pimento, pimento peppers. They're also calling it Jamaica pepper. Don't really, yeah, okay. Birch. The base notes are iris, oakmoss, cedarwood, and musk. So this fragrance, the first thing that kind of came into my mind when I tried this fragrance for the first time was actually a Street Scents video. So Street Scents by the guy Al, and there was like this collaboration between all these New York guys, or like they were in New York and there were loads of different reviewers there, and everyone was saying, yeah, spice and wood. It smelled of spice and wood, which is I just found that really funny. And yeah, I see where they were coming from, but for me, actually, this isn't a very spicy fragrance, and this isn't a there are elements there, but it isn't a very woody fragrance. Those aren't the notes and accords that really dominate for me. This is more of a fresh citrus vetiver with some slightly spicy and woody elements in there. The opening blast, for me, I think the opening of this fragrance is the best. I think it's phenomenal in the opening. Absolutely love it. It's got a really nice citrus accord, but it's not a fresh, juicy, sweet, sugary type accord. And that makes sense because this fragrance isn't supposed to be that level of freshness. It's more of a fresh, woody type fragrance with grassy vetiver notes. But the citrus here is more of a lemon leaf or a lemon rind type accord, which is actually very different from the juice. In some ways, the opening reminds me of Tom Ford for Men, which also has lemon leaf oil. And it is like a glass of hot water or a cup of hot water with lemon in it. It takes on a very different aroma, and is not as vibrant as the juice of a lemon or any other citrus fruit. What's also paired with this kind of warm lemon leaf, lemon rind kind of thing is a beautiful cardamom note. It's very, very noticeable, especially if you know cardamom, the notes, which can be, if you smell a jar of cardamom, it can smell like menthol. If you open up a cardamom and take out the, I don't know what they're called, like open up the pod and you'll find the cardamom, I don't know what they're called, but you'll find them inside. That is a very, very sort of, I would describe it as a very smooth, warm oil, very refined and very, very masculine. I think cardamom and men's fragrances, they just go together really well. This is reused really well, and I think actually another good example is Clive Christian's X for Men, where the cardamom note in there is probably one of the best I've smelled. So that continues, and it's joined by kind of cedary elements, and also this vetiver note, which is kind of grassy and a typical used in a typical Creed way. Um, it really does smell like you have got some grass and maybe some sticks of wood and kind of rubbed it on your skin, and you're left with that aroma. The fragrance has been compared to a Frederick Malle fragrance called French Lover. I think it's also known as Bois d'Orage, where that is a much more punchier, much more earthier, much more galbanum going on that, and it's almost as if the kind of more wet, earthy elements of that have been stripped down and are found in, and what you're left with is what's in Creed's spice and wood. The fragrance does take on a fresh, peppery accord later on. The pimento comes through really nice. It kind of reminds me of some Ormond Jane fragrances where this pink pepper accord is used as a signature. And that's pretty much the fragrance for me. It is, even though I probably have, I have mentioned many different notes and accords, I don't find it very complex, and it's almost linear in some ways, but that linearity is quite a good thing because what you get is something really, really good. Now, even though I do like this fragrance a lot, I haven't bought a full bottle, not yet anyway. I just feel that, I like lots of other fragrances on the same in the same amount that I like this. But then the price of this one is just like much more. So like for me, I can't really justify it. If I could get a deal on this, or I would happily get another decant. Typically, I don't do that. If I finish a decant and I like it, I have to get a full bottle. But I suppose I might make an exception for this one. So guys, I'm going to give this a rating of 8 out of 10. Really good for me. Do you like it or do you dislike it? Do you think that there are better alternatives, or is this worth it? Let me know your thoughts. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my Facebook page, check out my cigar reviewing page, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.